Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. On the very last day of May. Can you believe what a beautiful day it is at the moment? Can I just say thank you to Amanda? She says, hi, Ginge. The weather today, highs of 24, but will feel like 27. But it's still glorious. And to be honest, there's a little breeze. I don't know if you can hear it just blowing a little bit. But it's absolutely awesome today. Just a few wisps of cloud, nothing major. Although I've got to be honest, Jane was doing a little look at weather the other day and she says, we're looking at rain tomorrow. But we'll wait and see. I know in the UK, you're all enjoying your bank holiday weekend, your bank holiday Monday, so you're off for a little bit longer. Just to let you know, my Northern Soul show is going to be repeated this morning, 10 o'clock UK time on beatsradio.co.uk. So as soon as I finish this broadcast, guess what? You can tune into beatsradio.co.uk and enjoy 2 hours of Northern Soul from my Northern Soul show. The old Soul Cream van is out over the weekend, bringing you the best in Northern Soul. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know. But again, absolutely glorious. Big shout out to Dave Matthews tuning in. Julie Meldrum's tuning in as well. Again, let's have a look over the back here towards. In fact, I don't know if you've realised, but yesterday Yanni was out cutting the grass yesterday, and it looks absolutely glorious. A few white feathers down there. I don't know what they've come from, but absolutely glorious. Look at that, beautiful day. You could sit out here and have a picnic, to be quite honest. Although yesterday we had a nice meal on the veranda yesterday with some friends. They came round. Big shout out to Mike and Maureen. Beautiful afternoon yesterday afternoon. Dining on the veranda was lovely. But anyway, there you go. Nice. I'll tell you what, today is just really, really kind of good news today as well. So I'm going to crack on with it and get it done as quickly as possible. Today, unfortunately, is Jane's last day. She goes back to work full time tomorrow. So we feel like the end of our time is coming at the moment, and we'll all be back to work and doing what we have to do, etc. I've just touched something and oh my God, what have I done now? I've put one of those silly filters on. Hang on a tick. Let's get that filter off. Oh, damn you, Ginge. What have you done? What have you done? Is it going to come off? Oh, good. It's gone. Thank God. Right, let me just switch the screen round and let's crack on with the news today. Some of it is it's good news, actually. Right, first of all, arrivals today for those people that are interested as to who's coming here on holiday today. We've got 2 flights in from Amsterdam. We also have 1 flight in from Zurich, Switzerland. And we have 1 flight in from Athens. So that's basically locals or people who are coming via Athens airport coming to the island. So again, not too many arrivals today. Anyway, COVID in the last 24 hours. Some good news on COVID figures in the last 24 hours for Greece. We've seen a real drop-off of infections. The other day I did report to you 1,497. Well, today it's been 907 new infections recorded across the country, which is good. The total amount of infections, I've not given you this for a long time now, since the pandemic started has been 401,301 since the beginning of the pandemic. The average age of those people 51% of those people were actually male that were infected. Obviously, the rest female. Anyway, as for entry into the countries, infection coming through the borders, only 5 cases were identified yesterday. That, unfortunately, was up from the 1 on the previous day. However, according to the national stats, infections across the Ionian Island at the moment are actually looking really, really good. There was only 1 case in Lefkada. There were no cases in Kefalonia. Corfu is down to 18 cases detected on the island. And as for Zakynthos, we've had 1 case detected. However, locally, we've not had any report to confirm that. So again, Zakynthos still having a very, very low infection rate, which is all good for us as we wait to get out of the amber as far as the UK is concerned. That means then for the month of May, we've only had 38 positive cases here on the island by my estimates, which is a heck of a lot down from the month of April, where we had 177, and the month before that in March, where we had 184, and before that in February we had 70, and so the month of January had 30. So in fact we're down to close to the figures that we had at the beginning of the year in January. So again, that all bodes positive for us as well. When it comes to deaths across Greece at the moment, we've had 30 new deaths across the country. That's up by 1 on the previous report, which was 29. Once again, our condolences to those families affected, but also the death rate at the moment has been very low here in Greece, which again bodes well. The total amount of deaths we've had since the pandemic started last year has been 12,054. That's all the deaths we've had since the pandemic started. Anyway, once again, the average age of those people passing away, 96% of them had underlying health conditions, or they were over the age of 70. And just to put that in context, the average daily death rate in Greece in 2019 was around about 329 people a day. So again, things are looking good. As for Zakynthos, to the end of the month then, we've had 3 deaths on the island from COVID that could be related. And before that, in April, we had 4 deaths. Before that, we had 2 deaths in March, and then we had 1 death in February. So all in all, I've done the maths on that. We've had, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've had 10 deaths approximately here this year. So again, things are looking positive, that our rate is low. Our death rate has been very, very low, and that will all stand us hopefully in good stead for relaunching our season properly. Anyway, when it comes to critical cases at the moment, that has also dropped as well. That is down from 510. Initially, I reported yesterday, that's now down to 497, 298 male, 199 female. Average age of those people, about 68 years of age. 83% of those people had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. So that again, it's a positive, remembering that 900 is the total amount of beds that Greece has to be able to deal with coronavirus patients in incubation. Anyway, more news this morning. The Deputy Prime Minister announced today that free self-testing kits will be further expanded to the ages of 18 to 30 years of age. Now, with this addition to the population groups that already receive self-diagnostic tests, which includes primary and secondary school students and all employees in the private and public sector, they're now enabling that people who are not students, who don't have a job, who are aged between 18 to 30, they can still self-test if they wish, all right? And they can get those tests free from their local pharmacy. Now, what that means in detail then, that from May the 31st until June the 5th, these people will be able to receive a self-test kit from their pharmacy. Already, primary and secondary students are getting them. Teachers and administrative staff and public private schools are getting the self-test kits as well. And those who choose to get those self-test kits from the ages of 18 to 30, they are not obliged to have to actually register the result of their test actually online, unless they are going to be working with the public or they are obviously going to become students. But at the moment, the student season is running out. So those basically unemployed 18 to 30s, they can get a self-test kit for free, self-test themselves, and they're not obliged to have to give in the result on the online platform to say what their status is. Now, anyway, in a report published from April the 12th, Up until today, they said that over 18,513,671 self-test kits have been made available by pharmacies, and that has been to 4,050,888 citizens. And they've had 12,515,855 digital online statements of results have been made on the government platform. And that means that a percentage of 68% in total of people have been complying and doing the self-testing, which then means that, believe it or not, that Greece is among one of the top 5 European countries that carries out the most testing in the EU. Again, let's hope that stands us in good stead when it comes to decisions being made about us coming out of amber and going into green. Anyway, it has been pointed out that this large participation of massive public health policy, which operates at the moment, has put Greece into the top 5 of one of the most tested countries in the EU, and that is the Deputy Prime Minister saying that at the moment, which again is good news as well. Now, the policy has given a much better picture, they said, of the pandemic in Greece, which we know that in real positivity index means that at the moment our number is between 0.2 and 0.3% of infection rates. So in other words, we are in a very, very low category in comparison to other EU countries and other locations. Anyway, in addition today, thanks to self-testing with the second PCR or rapid test, 26,444 positive cases have been confirmed, mostly as asymptomatic, which means citizens who, if they did not know they were ill, would not have taken the necessary self-limiting measures against the virus. This is one of the reasons why they just want to give people the option to be able to self-test. So if they did happen to prove positive through the self-test, that they are then aware that they have the disease, but they're not obliged to have to tell anybody that they have actually got it. So in some ways, it's that to me is just a bit odd. All right, if you've got it, let them know you've got it. Let's keep the figures honest, shall we say? And again, it'll be interesting to see how many 18 to 30s are going to take up the offer of the free self-testing kits. I know I'm going to have to start getting them once they announce that it's back to work for DJs because the music ban is lifted, which is something that I really am looking forward to seeing that ban being lifted. Anyway, on to another story then. This week will be crucial in Greece's efforts to facilitate travel from Great Britain and also from Russia and strengthen the tourism activity in June. That appears to be the weakest month for booking terms. And I think the reason is because of the confusion that has been surrounding people booking holidays, having them cancelled, having them moved to another month, holiday companies taking advantage of the confusion by still laying on flights to get people to the destinations on necessary travel. So again, confusion. So hopefully this week, some of that confusion is going to start to be put to rights. Anyway, the UK at the moment has ranked Greece in amber, as we all know, as a group of destinations, meaning that travellers returning to Britain from Greece will have to quarantine for at least 10 days, while Russia is currently not allowing flights between the two countries to be increased, citing mainly concerns about the pandemic. Nevertheless, by the middle of next week, London is likely to reclassify certain Greece destinations, mainly the islands, and we know that Zakynthos is one of those islands that is on that list. And relieving visitors of their obligation to quarantine until their return. So basically, we want to see that Zakynthos is in the green. We are one of the few islands, believe it or not, that are still in the frame for it. Other islands like Rhodes and that are not being looked upon favourably at the moment by the British government. But we will all see what Boris decides, hopefully some indication this week. Also, as well, that's what's been written. In the middle of the week, alternate Foreign Minister Mitsotakis Viravasis is expected to have a teleconference on the matter with the joint chairman of the Interministerial Committee of Greece and Russia. The Russian Minister of Transport, Velati Seravek, is in order to seal a date for the resumption of flights on the basis of health data. So again, Greece still looking to Russia to basically get tourists here. When you think about what's going on with Russia and Turkey and all the saber rattling that's been going on in the Western Mediterranean, you'd be very surprised that we'd want to see the Russians come in, especially when you think of the sanctions that Putin also was put under the invasion of the Crimea. Again, you would be very surprised to see that the Russians are still trying to get here. And also what would be interesting to see is, will the Russian Navy send one of its ships to Zakynthos, as it has done in previous years, to parade up and down the streets to proclaim the memory of the founder of the Russian Navy, who has a statue outside the St. Denis's church in town. So that'll be interesting to see if that happens this year as well. And if it does, I'll be straight down there to have a look, as I have been in the past. Anyway, there is also a series of online constitution meetings between the two countries, between their virus expert committees. And according to sources, they appear to be bearing some fruit. Still, political analysts estimate that the crisis with Belarus has toughened Moscow's attitude towards the European Union in general, affecting Greece to an effect. So basically, with the hijacking of the plane flying from Vilnius to Athens, again that kind of affects us. And again, obviously, Putin is siding with the guy over there in reference to that. So again, politics is coming to play as well in your holiday. That's a good rhyme, actually. Anyway, given the high demand by the potential Russian visitors to Greek destinations and the acknowledgement of the Russian vaccine by the Greek government, facilitating the flow of travellers from Russia, Russia could make the difference between losses and marginal points in June for a considerable number of hoteliers. And I've got to admit, we've had Russians here before in the past. People are lovely, I've got to be honest. However, again, for them to get here, it's an expensive holiday. It's not cheap. And of course, the ruble, again, is a currency which is not recognized outside of the Soviet Union. So again, the Russians that do get here have paid an awful lot of money to get here. A lot of them are in all-inclusive, but occasionally I did meet actually Russian reporters and Russian television celebrities, basically news celebrities here, who come to the island. And again, I was amazed at the price they paid to get a flight out of Moscow and to come here. And the other thing we've got to remember, even though Russia is a huge country with a huge population, not many people can afford to come on a holiday out of the country. And there's only two real destinations that people fly in from, St. Petersburg and Moscow. And in the reality of things, they probably don't bring the same amount of money as, say, what the UK country would bring in the way expendable money to go into the bars, the restaurants, etc., and all the other activities around the island. So again, there's still an early market to see, but mainly their currency is controlled. I'm always amazed at how, well, put it this way, how they get their hard currency to be able to come away occasionally. So again, we'll wait and see if the Russians do actually turn up. Oh, those Russians. Anyway, going back to this same article at the moment, and my mouse now decides that it doesn't want to move. Come on, mouse. Oh, he's moving now. Anyway, as we said, this month British tourists will apparently be unable to arrive in droves, as even if flights are allowed into the UK without restrictions from a handful of Greek islands, this will not apply to the majority of the country's tourist destinations. So basically, I think what they're saying there, if you booked your holiday to Zakynthos, you are guaranteed a holiday at the moment. If you've tried to book to go anywhere else, maybe you're not going to be able to come. And also, if you think about the logic of it, is by limiting the amount of islands that are places or destinations that people can come to, it means then that fewer people can actually come to the country. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how that will play out, and also what Boris's decision will be. Maybe he might put the whole of the country in green and not just put parts of it into green, and the rest of the country might be allowed to open full time for business. But we will wait and see what progresses this week. Anyway, another little story not related to COVID. Greece is going all out to attract foreign pensioners. Yep. Having introduced some particularly favourable legislation that puts in direct competition with Portugal and leaves Italy, and their words, in the dust. Already more than 300 pensioners have shifted their tax residence to Greece, while another 1,500 are waiting. Now, the institutional framework put in place last year created a tax rivalry between Portugal, Greece and Italy, with the former two fighting it out and matching each other's moves in a battle to woo the most Scandinavian pensioners. So it looks like Scandinavian pensioners. Anyway, Italy appears to be lagging in this race for now, as its system does not appear competitive enough. It does offer advantages, but only to pensioners who relocate to Pacific regions, especially that are sparsely populated villages. Now, that's in Italy. Now, Portugal and Greece feature identical frameworks. Portugal offers a 10-year income tax exemption concerning pensions, properties, securities, etc., anywhere in the world. So it's not just you've got to have it here, you can have it elsewhere. Anyway, Greece offers the same inline incentive, except that it imposes a 7% tax rate. Now, such a rate, according to major offices that pensioners contact, does not constitute a problem, as the benefits are multiple and the cost of living lower in the country compared to their countries of origin. Now, anybody who's been to Scandinavia will know it ain't a cheap place, all right? They might have one of the best social and healthcare systems and one of the best pension systems, but by God, you pay for that in your everyday taxes to basically have such a good system. Anyway, it seems that they added that Greece is located in the region that serves as a great base for which to explore Europe, Africa and the Middle East. Is obviously because of the location, you're kind of close to all of these places. So you can have your base here and you can scoot off to these other countries and obviously not pay any tax, all right? Anyway, the increased interest recorded amid the pandemic too has worried the Portuguese authorities, which are now considering providing extra incentives to those planning to relocate to Greece. They may even extend the exemption period from 10 years to 15 years. 15 years of not paying any tax. There you go. They should not think we will remain idle, says the Greek Finance Ministry source, noting that if other countries improve their systems aimed at attracting pensioners, we will also make the changes. We have the capacity to offer more, which will be determined according to the developments abroad and the demand for Greece by pensioners in Europe. Meanwhile, the Scandinavian countries appear annoyed and are trying to stem the flow of their pensioners going to the European South. Well, I've got to be honest, they are coming for the weather. And I do know, I wonder if Maria over in Sweden is thinking about maybe she'd like to live here in Greece at some point. Anyway, another little story, not related to COVID too much. Greece welcomed on Saturday the first direct flight from the US since 2020, when obviously the pandemic started. The flight was full and it took off from New York's JFK International Airport. Commenting on this milestone for this year's tourism season, Roberto Illerati, Delta's senior vice president, said Americans are actively seeking new adventures in 2021 with a mix of ancient sites and island resorts. They makes Greece a very popular choice. Anyway, US travel interest to Greece has skyrocketed, they said. The United States ambassador to Greece, Jeffrey Pratt, said on Wednesday, as American Airlines responds to demand by adding new summer flights between Athens and New York's JFK. I'm just wondering what a flight would cost. All right, it's about the price, mate. To be honest, Jane and I, when we flew to New York, we went via the UK, where it was so much cheaper to fly there and then go on. So it'd be interesting to see what a direct flight is from Athens to JFK, if it is any cheaper than probably going via the UK. So all I can say is welcome to the Americans that have arrived here in Greece. Lovely to see you. And another little story that kind of links in with their arrival is that the international motion picture industry is rediscovering Greece. I've talked about this before. Large foreign production companies and increasingly now are choosing Greece as the location to come and make films. But not only that, TV series are looking to come here. Adverts like to come here and shoot advertisements. Also, documentaries on the country have also drawn a lot of interest, and also people just attracted by the natural beauty, the climate, and the light. And if you've ever been in the movie business, light is very important as well into getting a good film and a good shot. Now, at the moment, they said that the incentive is going to probably bring in 200 million euros worth of investment. They already said that there is already scheduled films for this year of 2021. Experts are stressing that this shift is not a coincidence, but it's the start of a trend towards new economic activity for Greece, and the multiple effects, not only of the image of the country abroad, that has benefited tourism also, but also for the employment of hundreds of companies, small and large, that are involved in one way or another with activities surrounding tourism. Production companies actually using Greece now as a location to come and actually produce their films. Now, looking at some of the films that are due to be produced here in Greece this summer, I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing one of these films. Well, there's a couple that are actually looking quite interesting. This summer, they're going to be making two major productions, or Disney are going to be making two major productions. One is called Greek Freak. This is a Disney film, and it's about the life of the story of a basketball superstar, Giannis. I can't even pronounce his surname, but I do know of the guy. He's an underprivileged kid here who basically did very well basketball playing here in Greece. He's got a very interesting backstory, and basically went over to America, where he then became a big league player. Absolutely awesome. And he was given citizenship. He was given citizenship by Greece, although technically he wasn't entitled to it under their rules at that time. But again, he's become an absolute sports legend here in Greece, and also done very, very well for himself in America. So they're making a film about his life at the moment. But another film that caught my eye is Knives Out 2. Now, if you saw Knives Out 1, get it out on Netflix. Brilliant film. Daniel Craig plays a southern Virginian detective, and it's like an Agatha Christie film, the first one, where meet in the library at 9 o'clock and I will tell who the murderer is. Very funny comedy, excellent film, fantastic mega cast in that film, apart from Daniel Craig. And again, they're making a sequel to that here in Greece. So you never know, you might be walking along the street somewhere and you might see Daniel Craig actually making this film. So all in all, some really good positive news for a Monday, and today is Jane's last day of freedom before she goes back to work tomorrow on the 1st of June. And as I've said before, we are now waiting to see how June is now going to play out because of what's going on, and obviously decisions that were still waiting to be made in reference to the British tourists being able to travel over here to Zakynthos and enjoy your holidays, and also as well restrictions that are in place here, hoping that sensibility is going to raise and they're going to lift those restrictions. And that's just reminded me, today the gyms are reopening across the country. There are restrictions in the use of the gyms. One of them is wearing masks and double masks. However, if you'd like to do aerobics, it has been said yesterday in the news, you don't have to wear a mask doing aerobics, but you might have to wear one for doing everything else. So again, we'll see how the gyms fare. Again, still no word on whether the music ban is lifted at the moment, because basically until that music ban is lifted, I cannot go back to work at the moment. Right, so quickly then, Alfling is tuning in. Nice to see you. Julie Meldrum is watching as well. Dave Matthews is watching us too. Also, who else is tuning in as well? Kim Roche is watching as well. Nice to see you looking in, my lovely. Also, let's have a look. It's doing that funny thing again where it keeps jumping to the top. Tim Troon is watching as well. Also, David Douglas says, made broadcast today in the sunny Fife, Scotland. Oh, bless you. I'm so pleased you made the broadcast. And don't forget, as soon as I finish this broadcast, tune into beatsradio.co.uk because my Northern Soul show starts at 10 o'clock UK time. Okay, 2 hours of Northern Soul music. So let's have a look, see who else is tuning in. Dave Matthews says, good morning, mate, from Northampton. Going swimming at 9 with the grandkids. Being told it's going to be hot today. I've heard you've had really good weather today over there. We've had really nice weather as well. It's been lovely here over the weekend. I think I've caught a bit of sun as well. Let's have a look, see who else is looking in. I have to keep clicking backwards and forwards. It's a little bit frustrating. It never used to do this before, so I don't know why it's doing it now. Maybe they're trying to censor me or trying to censor you from getting in. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, God, this is terrible. It used to run so smoothly. And I know there's Bob Baker was trying to say something. Let me just scroll all the way down the bottom and see if I work back up, it might work better. Teresa Ann Huggett says, good morning. Summer has arrived in Harlow, Essex. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Simon Grinley is watching in Wendover. Nice to see you. Mark Stewart is tuning in as well. Wendy Norcliffe is tuning in. Shane Bowen up there in Exmoor. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning into the shows over the weekend. Greatly appreciated. Also as well, oh no, this is terrible. I don't know why it's doing this. It never used to do this. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to bang it on the head there. Somebody's from Boston says, Sonny, Ginge from was that? Oh, from Boston in Swansea. He says, happy, I don't know who that is, probably Andrew the Bridge Watkins. I'm going to have to bang it on the head here. Got things to do. Once again, I will keep my ear to the ground. Hear anything, I'll let you know. And fingers crossed that this week is the start of some serious change. Boris, please, mate, pull your finger out. Let's get some clarity. Let's see where we stand, because even if we are not, if we are going to be kept in amber, we'd rather know now so that we can make alternative plans so we know where we stand. So again, a lot of uncertainty at the moment, a lot of people just waiting for the word, the British are coming, and then that's it. It'll just be all hands to the decks and things will be ready to move forward. And the nice thing is that this year, it looks like Zakynthos is one of those places that is be deemed safe and where the place where people are going to come. And interestingly, Kefalonia, our next door neighbours, is not on that list. And where last year they just sailed on as if nothing had gone on, maybe it's our turn this year to do very good business with the British. Anyway, we'll wait and see. We'll see what transpires. I'll keep my ear to the ground and I'll let you know. You take care. Ta-ra.